Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really digging into a whole stack of sources covering the latest AI tech moves.
Yeah, lots to unpack.
Our mission, as always, is to cut through the noise, pull out what really matters, and get you up to speed quickly. We've got stuff on AI voices, agents that actually do things, some wild creative tools, platform updates. It's a lot.
And what's really striking looking through this isn't just the tech itself, but how fast it's hitting the market. These aren't just lab experiments anymore. They're tools people can actually use now.
Exactly. Practical applications, integration.
Yeah.
It's happening. Okay, let's jump into this stack. First up, making AI voices sound, well, more human. ElevenLabs V3. What's the story here based on the material?
Right. So ElevenLabs V3, it's their next big text-to-speech model. It's in public alpha right now.
Okay.
And the core problem they're tackling, it seems, is that flat, sort of robotic sound you often get with synthetic speech. They want real expressiveness.
Yeah. Trying to get past that slightly creepy, unnatural quality. And the sources mention some interesting ways they're doing it, like putting tags directly in the text.
Exactly. Things like sighs or excited. You can literally type those cues in to guide the AI's tone, the performance, and you can apparently stack them, combine multiple tags for more complex emotions.
Interesting. Granular control.
And a huge thing is the language support. They've jumped to over 70 languages. That's massive.
70, wow. What does that cover population-wise?
The sources say about 90% of the world's population. So this kind of expressive AI voice becomes way more accessible globally.
That's a big deal.
Plus, there's a new API specifically for dialogue, multi-speaker conversations, handling interruptions, the back and forth, making it sound more natural.
Okay, that dialogue part sounds tricky, but potentially really useful. And this model, it wasn't just an update, right? The sources say rebuilt from the ground up.
Yeah, totally rebuilt. And it feels aimed squarely at the pro-market film, audiobooks, high-end video games, places where that quality really matters.
Makes sense. And availability. You said a public alpha.
Public alpha now, yeah. And they're offering a pretty big discount, 80% for self-serve users through June 2025, according to the material. It's on their site, API coming soon.
Good to know.
Though they do point out, for real-time stuff like instant responses, they still recommend their older V2.5 turbo or flash models for now. A real-time V3 is planned, but not out yet.
Right. Latency matters for real time.
Yeah.
Still, think about audiobooks, podcasts, game characters. Having that level of emotional nuance, it really could make audio content much more engaging.
Definitely a step change.
Okay, let's pivot. From AI, speaking to AI doing, the sources bring up AI agents, specifically something called Runner H from H Company. What's this about?
Runner H, yeah, it's pitched as an AI agent that can actually, automate tasks you do on websites, interact with them in real time.
And H Company, they've got some serious backing. I saw a number.
$220 million in funding. Yeah, so there's definitely belief in this approach.
And it's more than just a chatbot, right? The sources emphasize it performs actions.
Exactly. You give it instructions in plain English, and it can apparently do things like send emails, fill out complex forms online, book trips, even handle job applications.
How does it actually do that, though? What's the tech?
It's powered by something called HoloOne, described as a 3 billion parameter visual language model, a VLM.
Visual language model.
So the key thing is it doesn't just read text. It understands the layout of a web page, where the buttons are, the menus, the input fields. It sees the structure.
So it can see and interact like a person would, clicking, typing.
That's the idea. And because of that visual understanding, it can connect and operate across different apps you use, like Gmail, Slack, Notion, Zapier, bridging them together.
That cross-app capability sounds powerful. They mentioned a benchmark, Web Voyager.
Yeah, they report a 67% success rate on the Web Voyager benchmark.
And what does that actually mean? Is 67% good in this context?
Well, the benchmark tests how well agents can complete complex multi-step tasks across different websites. And according to the sources, that 67% score puts Runner H ahead of competitors like Anthropic Computer Use on those kinds of tasks. So yeah, it suggests a pretty decent level of capability for navigating and acting online autonomously.
Interesting. So it's showing some real promise in handling complex web tasks. And availability. Can people try it?
Yep. The material says it's currently in a public beta. Free to use, no waitlist right now.
Makes you think about all those repetitive online chores. Data entry, checking things, filling forms. Could something like this really take a chunk of that off your plate?
That's the potential, definitely. Automating the drudgery.
All right, shifting gears again. Let's talk AI video. This seems to be exploding. We've got a few different angles from the sources here.
Yeah, it's a busy space. First up, Google DeepMind's VO3 model.
VO3, what's the headline?
State of the art, basically. Generating high quality, short videos from text prompts, or even using an image as a starting point.
And it's not just theoretical, it's becoming usable.
Right. It's being integrated into Leonardo.Ai, that's for their paid users. And Google's also rolling it out more widely themselves through the Gemini app and their Google AI Ultra plan. Looks like it's available in 73 countries.
Okay, so getting out there, what makes it stand out capability-wise?
Several things highlighted. Integrated audio generation is one. It can create sound effects, dialogue, even attempts lip syncing, all as part of the video generation.
Wow, audio included.
Yeah. And better control. Improved understanding of complex prompts, more consistency with characters across different shots, and control over virtual camera moves, pans, zooms, that kind of thing. The output is described as just more realistic, better physics, higher fidelity overall.
Okay, so VO3 is about generating realistic scenes from prompts. Then there's a different approach mentioned, Mirage Studio from Captions AI.
Right. Mirage Studio focuses specifically on generating videos featuring realistic AI actors. You feed it a script or just an audio file.
AI actors. So, replacing the need for human actors.
That's exactly the pitch. The goal is to streamline video production, especially for marketing and content creation. Cut out the need for cameras, casting, contracts, agencies, the whole traditional process.
How does it create these actors?
Two ways mentioned. You can describe a totally near fictional person using text prompts, or you can upload a reference image, maybe of yourself, maybe stock photo, and it creates a digital actor based on that.
Interesting. And the focus is on realism.
Very much so. The sources emphasize lifelike performance, natural skin, micro-expressions, even hand gestures, all driven by the script or the audio input. They quote, marketing teams using it slashing production time from weeks to a single day.
Weeks to a day, that's dramatic.
And cost savings up to 90%. So it's clearly targeting efficiency in production by replacing the human element with AI.
A completely different angle than VO3. Okay, and then there's another one. HeyGen's new AI studio. What's their focus?
HeyGen seems to be about giving creators more control over the AI video, specifically over AI avatars. It's positioned as a video editor, making the process feel more like writing a document. Fine-tuning.
Control after generation. What kind of controls?
Some specific features are mentioned. Voice Director lets you use natural language prompts to tell the avatar how to say things like, emphasize this word, or sound more concerned here.
Directing the AI's performance with text.
Exactly. Then there's voice mirroring, where you upload an audio recording and the avatar tries to replicate the pacing, the tone, the emotion of that recording.
Okay, matching a reference performance.
And gesture control, where you can actually map specific movements or facial expressions to certain words or phrases in the script.
So, really dialing in the nonverbal communication.
Right. And this launched alongside their new Avatar the Thief, which they're calling their most lifelike avatar yet, designed to really show off these control features with richer facial expressions.
So, three really distinct takes on AI video here. Google's VO3 pushing realism from prompts. Captions AI's Mirage creating AI actors for efficiency. And HeyGen focusing on granular control over avatar performance. It makes you wonder how these different paths will shape video creation going forward, right? Each solves a slightly different problem.
Absolutely. It's not one size fits all.
Okay, let's wrap up with some updates to the core AI platforms and how they're plugging into actual workflows, particularly in business, starting with Google, again, Gemini 2.5 Pro.
Yeah, the main news there is a significant boost to its coding abilities.
Better at writing code. Is there proof of that?
Well, the sources mention it's now leading on something called the Web Dev Arena Leaderboard that specifically tests building functional web apps just from prompts. So topping that leaderboard is pretty strong evidence.
Okay, that's a concrete benchmark. Any other updates to Gemini 2.5 Pro?
Apparently, this update fixed some previous issues, and it's being positioned as maybe the first kind of long-term stable release for Gemini Pro. And for developers, there's a new feature called configurable thinking budgets.
Configurable thinking budgets. Sounds intriguing.
Yeah, it lets developers fine-tune how much compute power the model uses for complex tasks, which helps manage performance and, importantly, costs.
Cost control.
Right.
Always important. And this is available where?
Through Google AI Studio and their Vertex AI platform.
Got it. Now, shifting to OpenAI, they're making moves into the workplace with ChatGPT connectors. What are these?
They're basically tools, new integrations that let ChatGPT connect to and access data stored within common business applications.
So ChatGPT can securely pull information from your company's own systems,
Yeah.
not just its general knowledge.
Exactly. The examples given are connectors for things like Google Drive, Microsoft SharePoint, Box, Dropbox, the kind of places companies store internal documents and data. The idea, the vision presented, is to make ChatGPT a kind of central knowledge hub. An employee could ask it a question, and it could potentially find and synthesize answers from the company's internal repositories.
Instead of having to manually search Drive, then SharePoint, then somewhere else?
Precisely. It's rolling out in beta to their enterprise clients. And a key point they stress is security. It respects existing permissions. ChatGPT can only see what the user asking the question is authorized to see.
That's crucial. Permissions matter.
They also mentioned something called deep research connectors, which seem to enable more complex, autonomous research tasks using external tools, but the main focus is that internal data access.
This definitely feels like OpenAI pushing harder into the corporate world, right?
Yeah.
Building on those 3 million business users they mentioned having.
Absolutely. It's a clear enterprise play.
Think about that for a second. An AI that knows both the world's public information and your company's specific internal knowledge. How could that change finding information or just generally working day to day?
It's a fundamental shift in how you might interact with information at work.
So quite a journey we took in this deep dive.
Yeah.
From AI voices getting emotional nuance,
To agents actually doing tasks for you online,
generating incredibly realistic video, creating AI actors.
and enhancing the core models for things like coding and accessing enterprise data.
Yeah, a lot of ground covered.
And the thread connecting all this material really is this push towards making AI not just powerful, but also more accessible, more controllable, and more deeply integrated into how we actually create things and get work done.
Hopefully diving into this material gives you a much clearer picture of these significant shifts happening right now in AI.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with, based on all this. As these tools get better and blend more seamlessly into our lives, generating voices, videos, automating tasks, accessing our private data, what new challenges, but also opportunities does this rapid integration create? How does it change how we work, how we create, how we even think about digital information? Something to keep mulling over as this tech just keeps accelerating.